Today we said farewell to our dear friends from Off Leash. We have traveled with them from Chicago, Illinois, all the way to Clearwater, Florida, over 1,500 nautical miles. We were sad to see them go, and since they are nearing the end of their loop, we won't likely run into them again. What a great time we had sharing so many experiences. We will miss them dearly, and we're glad to have them as boat buddies for a lot of our trip. Our looping buddies from over 1,500 miles have decided to leave us as they sail off into the sunrise. Have a great trip to St. Pete's, and hopefully we'll see you on down the water.
Holidays!
Happy holidays! This video is broken into two parts. The first portion covers our travels from Clearwater Beach Marina to Gulfport Marina, and the second half of the video covers our departure from Gulfport and our travels to Anna Maria Island, where we would spend time with our friends before heading home for Christmas, leaving the boat in good hands to be cared for while we were away. Good morning from Sea Club. We are underway from Clearwater Marina. This morning we were there for a few nights, and 3 I guess. Yeah, we were in Clearwater for 3 nights. We're on our way to Gulfport Marina today. The reason we booked Gulfport was because the fuel price is the lowest there that we've been able to find along this sort of channel, and we need to fuel up after our crossing.
They are an ATLCA sponsor.
They are indeed. Took the words right out of my mouth.
I thought we were going there because of the ballroom dancing.
Well, there are a lot of reasons to go to Gulfport, not the least of which is cheap fuel. Anyway, we are having our first experience with the ICW along the busier coast of Florida. We've been on the ICW or GICW along the Panhandle, but this is our first experience with tourist Florida. It's a lot hotter here. It's very sunny. It's beautiful out.
The water's blinding.
There is a lot of traffic, and the channels are narrow, so we're having to steer more than we are used to. We tend to generally just do autopilot and adjust, and I could probably be doing that right now, but I'm not, because I feel more comfortable being in control of the situation.
A lot of it is no wake.
Yeah, we're actually at no wake
Reaping
right now. The first portion of our trip was Clearwater Beach to Gulfport Marina and took just 21.6 nautical miles. And we traveled at an average speed of 6.9 knots on this portion of the trip. Red tide is an algae bloom that is harmful to both wildlife and humans and can be particularly severe for people with respiratory conditions. The red tide was particularly bad, and there were many dead fish on our route as a result. It's also quite an irritant to the eyes and throat, and we decided to wear masks during this portion of the trip.
So I don't know how well you can focus on this, but all this, any of these little white specks you see out here, they are all dead fish. It's kind of sad, but I guess they've had something called a red tide since the Hurricane Ian, and we are getting birds here. We are getting closer and closer to Fort Myers, the main area where it hit, and so this is our first day of seeing all these dead fish. Really, really sad.
The second portion of our trip took us from Gulfport Marina to Anna Maria Island. This trip was 17.4 nautical miles, and we averaged a much slower 4.6 knots in speed for this portion of the trip. Gulfport is where we would connect with our friends from Anna Maria Island. We were excited to be finally linking up. The plan to connect in Florida was years in the making, and it was exciting to see it come to fruition. They have a beautiful house in Florida with a Class A dock for us to tie up to that includes shore power. Thank you so much for the hospitality. We loved our stay there very much. In fact, we loved it so much we came back. More on that in another video.
Alright, there we are having our first view of the Sunshine Skyway. Alright, we are approaching Anna Maria Island. That's Anna Maria Island in front of us. Anna Maria is made up of 3 areas, I think, three cities. So up here, I can't move my finger, I'm not going to do that. This first step up here, there we go. This part over here is Anna Maria. And then in the middle, this big section in the middle is Homeless Beach. And then down at the far end is Bradenton. And apparently that's the bookend, and the place for us older people is on the Anna Maria end.
Having finally arrived at our friend's house, we started things off right with a glass of Prosecco to celebrate getting together. All right, so we're celebrating the arrival to Anna Maria Island and visiting our friends Terry and Pauline, who have their place on the island.
I missed it. I was like in the show.
Oh, sorry.
Pauline.
Suddenly I feel, it's coming
Terry.
right now. I'm going to stop talking.
Oh yeah, they come up on their own. All right.